What's up, my crypto fam? Um, so we're making another market video about how the crypto space is doing. Looks like the little dog wants to come and help us. Hopefully, she brings us some much needed reversal in the market trends. Um, she's always here. When she's here to when she gears up about these streams, that means things are turning around. Things are looking up. So hopefully she uses her superpowers and we get out of this downward pattern. The for sure, and we're reversing. We're no longer this the weekly, and the weeklies again turn to the downside. We're really just bleeding slowly. I think my opinion is that this is just accumulation and sideways chop. I don't think there is a ton. I don't think there's a ton of actual movement. Market makers playing their moves right now. I think a lot of the people are waiting to see what happens with the global news that's going around, right? And it would be just our luck that things start to calm down right around March, beginning of March, and then as soon as they do, and we have a few green days, the Fed will come out and ruin everything, saying that they're raising interest rates or inflation numbers are much higher than they predicted, or yeah, take your pick. It'll get ruined in some form or fashion. That said, I'm still taking a close watch of the market. We broke through 38. I mentioned on yesterday's stream that I didn't see it as a strong level of support. I know a bunch of people were calling for that as our support level, but there's no real structure that shows that 38,000 had any type of accumulation in that zone for it to actually be a strong support zone. Actually at the 37K region here, you could argue that there's more pressure for a support zone than at 38K. So yeah, that said, I don't think there's a ton holding us from dropping further outside of just, I think a lot of people are waiting to see what happens in the world. I think a lot of people are waiting to see what Putin does with the Russia conflict. I think a lot of people are waiting for the Fed to come out and talk about inflation rates, whether they're going up or down, and whether they're going to be raising interest rates, and by what degree they'll be raising the interest rates. All those are important questions that need to be answered. That said, I still think this 30K level, you can make an argument for, I think I drew it on the 3-day. Let's see. Yeah. So from here down to 29,000-ish region, I think you can make a play as strong support. It's done its job the first time and got us back to higher highs. I'm hoping that this ends up stopping around this region and we just form a ultimately a higher low on the extended charts. So yeah, without knowing what's coming up the news with the global crises that are going on, it's tough to really make plays. I think there's a lot to be said knowing when to just kind of sit on your hands and wait. Obviously not financial advice, but it's the game that I'm playing. I'm kind of just, I'm okay waiting on the sidelines. Even if we do pump, I would probably wait for a clear of this resistance zone. my work computer constantly fights with my home computer login. I think, yeah, I think until we break this previous support now term resistance, I think until we break that, I'm kind of going to just be cautiously optimistic. I think if we break 30K with any type of, or 29K with any type of strong close below it, it's run for the hills, because there's no support, right? Like, not until you can get to the, what's this, 18,000, 19,000 range. There's no type of support at all. So it will be a painful shot down. But the way that the market's looking, I don't see us breaking below 30K. I'm not seeing anything definitive enough to show that we wouldn't make some type of substantial bounce here. And hopefully that turns a lot of the market. But a lot's waiting on global news. And I know technical analysis for sure has, been my saving grace for a lot of the investments and profits that I've made. But the thing you have to remember about technical analysis is, part of technical analysis is knowing when your TA gets invalidated. And I think there's going to be a lot of invalidations on any type of technical patterns that people are trying to follow in this market, because there's such a large global crisis that's taking center stage. So I think it's playing a bigger hand in the market than it ever has before. And I think that's largely because of, whenever this fear, the high risk markets are the first one to lose their values. That's why you see things like PayPal, Meta, a lot of the cryptocurrencies, a lot of the S&P 500 just getting destroyed on the back of a lot of this news. So I'll be really interested to see how the markets open tomorrow. Crypto has historically we're still pretty coupled to the S&P 500. I hope one day we become a large enough market that we can be independent of them. But right now, we are still coupled, like it or not. Still very much coupled with the S&P. So that said, I think I'm just in a holding pattern. I think I drew this chop zone months ago, and I think we just chill around and chop for an uncomfortable amount of time until people get absolutely sick of it or beyond fearful that they start cashing out their positions, and then I think larger money starts coming in and swooping on the victims. I just saw it on my feed, one of the best indicators we have is this fear and greed index, and we've lowered we're at 25 I think yesterday, and today we are now at 20. So we're in the extreme fear territory, which is kind of a good thing. You have to remember that I think it's Warren Buffett famously said, be greedy when others are fearful, and when others are greedy, or be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. And it really hits home because we're at 20 on the greed index, so we're in extreme fear pattern, and really, I think a lot of big money is looking at this as opportunity, not as, get out and save yourself type of deal. And if you were to watch crypto Twitter around, back in March, April, or October, November, everyone was saying Bitcoin's going to over 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 by the end of 2021, right? Most people don't know. They don't, but a good indicator is when market does get greedy, it slaps you with the correction. It slaps hard. So, yeah, I think the overall point I'm trying to make is I'm going to be patient, cautiously optimistic, and I'm going to wait for full trend reversal, and I think that will come on the back of some of the news of the global issues coming down, and certainly the Fed behaving themselves and not doing anything too harsh. They do need to raise interest rates. Inflation can't continue. I just hope they don't take such a knee-jerk reaction that the market gets punished and responds, in a negative way. So we got a couple of big weeks coming up, which probably for the crypto space and the S&P space probably means a couple of boring weeks. Over a length of time, this isn't a market really moving at all. This is extremely boring. This is a snooze fest, right? This is not exciting. This is not making any big upside or downside moves. This is a market that is waiting for something to happen to make a decision on the current trend. Is my belief. So yeah, I'm gonna continue in my holding pattern. I don't think there's even any coins that are really worth discussing. There's nothing exciting going on with the market as of right now. And any of the altcoins, even if they do start to do well, Bitcoin's gonna rip them down every time it has a correction. So Bitcoin's king still, and it will control a lot of the altcoin market until the dominance really changes over some more. Until the altcoins start taking their dominance higher, and we have a true alt season, which honestly may or may not happen. We may just, everything rallies to new all-time highs, and that's the end of it. We might just cool off by the end of the year. Who knows? But I think a lot of the uncertainty really needs answered, really needs resolved, if we're gonna do anything substantial. And I just, with all the news going out, I think Putin. I read that Putin is now considering two parts of Ukraine that are pro-Russian, part of Russia, and I think he's going to start invasion of those to ensure that those become Russian territories or answer to Russia. He's trying to build back the old Russian Empire, which you can smell crazy on that guy, right? So, not that many of the other world leaders are much better. I think they're all puffing their chest and gloating their power, and I think the regular everyday people are the ones suffering. I've yet to meet one that I feel like genuinely cares. I know we're sending over troops, not to Ukraine specifically, but to NATO allied territories, and I wish nothing but the best. I hope they have safe trips there and home. I hope everyone comes back home soon. I can't imagine. I can't put myself in their place. I respect the hell out of them. It's just it's nothing I could ever do, and they do it without thinking twice, which is, a huge testament to their character. So, yeah, hopefully this is over before it starts, and it doesn't get out of control. But that said, I think the market's going to just be extremely boring and move sideways. There might be some small or lower up and down pressure as we go. But I think it's going to bore the hell out of most people, and it's going to just chill in this chop zone for a lot longer than anybody wants it to. It'll probably get annoying before it moves in a direction. So, and then, like I said, I'll be watching any Fed news that comes out about the interest rates and how inflation is hitting us. And then, obviously, what the S&P does tomorrow, I think, is going to be a big indicator onto how the crypto space is doing. This is just a chart of Tesla. Tesla kind of got hammered. XPV, everything just got smoked on Friday before the market closing. It wasn't. The market's been getting wrecked, and Bitcoin's not showing much more than they're still so closely coupled that however the market decides to open could very well have an impact on Bitcoin. So I think we keep fighting the good fight. I plan, not financial advice, but my plan is to stay out of this and wait. And sorry, the dog. I'm gonna be exercising patience. I'll be hodling what I have, and I do have quite a bit of cryptocurrency that I've accumulated over the past 3 or 4 years. I plan on holding all of that because I've been through this before, and I know selling into this isn't a way that I've won in the past. I did much better by hodling my investments and selling them off when the market is in a greed territory, not in the fear territory. So it's important to do your research. Make sure you purchase coins that you have high conviction in the company and what they're doing, what their kind of what their roadmap looks like. Right, that's all. It's all important to any investment that you make, especially one as speculative as cryptocurrency can be. So yeah, exercising patience is what my plan is. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about, hopefully there's an uptick in the market. The S&P opens great. Things calm down in Russia and Ukraine, and everybody can go back to closing out a great February. Until then, have a great night. Stay safe. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Till then, peace.